Hi everyone, welcome back to Coastal Edge Consulting channel. I'm excited to share today's video because it's one of the most essential ways to start out right with a new team. Because if you've recently stepped into a new leadership role, whether it was due to a company change, a promotion, a lateral move, or maybe you've just been given a new team to support, this video is for you. And this will likely happen multiple times throughout your career journey. So it's important to think about how to start off on the right foot. In this video, I'll walk you through what the first 90 days should look like if you want to build a high-functioning, engaged team without the drama, without the guesswork, or without the worry over some deeply embedded cultural issues situation. But before we jump in, I want to take a moment to appeal to you to take a moment to subscribe to my channel. Only 10% of viewers are currently subscribed to my content, and in order to continue to grow my channel, I really need your support. Every little bit helps. Now, let's get into it. So I want to start out by explaining why the first 90 days really matters. Every team, no matter how great they seem, comes with its own culture, its own strengths, quirks, and definitely landmines. And whether you've been on that team for years or you're completely new, your perspective shifts the minute you become the leader. The leaders I've watched struggle the most are often the ones who jumped straight into fix-it mode or assumed they already knew what the team needed, but that rarely ends well. This is the time to be thoughtful about your approach, not the time to make a list of all the changes you'd like to implement. Over my career, I've had the chance to lead teams in public, private, unionized, and non-unionized settings. Teams as large as 150 people. And what I learned is this: your first 3 months sets the tone for everything. And if done well, they can completely transform how your team sees you and how you work together. Step 1. Observe before you act. If you get the rare luxury of overlapping with the leader you're replacing, treat it like a gift, and a rare gift. This doesn't happen very often. And this is your chance to watch everything. Take notes. Pay attention to the stuff that usually flies under the radar. I would suggest carrying a little notebook around and notice things like what happens when someone comes in late or they need to leave early. Are people on their phones all day? Are they on social media? Do employees seem to trust each other? Are they friendly? Are they engaged? Are they polite? Or are you getting the sense there's some avoidance? And here's a big one. What happens when someone makes a mistake? Does the employee own it? Do they accept responsibility? Does the leader get curious, or does the room turn into a blame game? These tiny moments tell you a lot about the current culture, and they will absolutely shape your strategy going forward. And if you don't get to shadow anyone, don't worry, that leads us straight into step 2. Ask a lot of questions. I know this sounds obvious, but trust me, I've seen leaders walk in with their 30 years experience mindset, and they just assume they already know how everything works. Ego is a sneaky little gremlin. Asking questions early on does 2 powerful things. It shows humility and it shows curiosity. It signals to the team that you don't see yourself as the all-knowing overlord. You can say things like, I know you're the expert in this work. Help me understand how things function here. This tiny bit of vulnerability builds trust way faster than pretending you've mastered everything on day 1. It also shows that you respect the expertise and the experience that others may have. And then that leads us right into one of the most important steps, step 3. Meet every employee one-on-one if that's feasible. Do this as soon as humanly possible. People really need to feel seen by their new leader before they can trust them. So in those one-on-ones, you're going to ask questions that actually matter, not the generic stuff that goes nowhere. For example, you can ask things like, what brought you to work here? What do you love about your work? Where do you want to be in 2, 3, 5 years? What's something this team does really well? What strengths do you bring to the team? And here's a really impactful question that will help you understand the patterns that are showing up so that you can strategize on what needs the most attention. Ready? What's one thing you wish would improve around here? Something that you think I might actually be able to help with. Finally, I would suggest you ask, is there anything that makes you nervous about a new leader stepping in that I can help to clarify? This one earns serious trust points because you're not pretending you're a perfect leader. You're acknowledging reality. And don't worry, you don't need to ask all of these questions exactly like I just suggested. Pick what feels natural. The point is to be curious, be open, and always try to be human. Step 4, don't change everything immediately. I cannot stress this enough. The fastest way to lose your new team is to bulldoze into the role with a list of changes. Instead, collect everything you heard in your one-on-ones. You're going to want to look for patterns. What are the biggest, most common themes? Focus on just 1 or 2 meaningful and realistic improvements. You can save the major transformation plans for later. Think of it like leadership Jenga. You pull too many pieces too fast, and the whole thing collapses. Step 5, hold a thoughtful, well-designed first team meeting. Your first team meeting is your chance to set the tone. You're going to want to make it intentional, people-oriented, and crystal clear. Here's a structure that I recommend. Start out by introducing yourself and your leadership style. Share a bit about yourself, not only the formal stuff. Some interesting tidbits as well. You want to show that you're human. Share your leadership style. Tell them who you are as a leader. What do you value? What are your strengths? And where are your weaknesses? Where do they show up? And also, what irritates you? For me, it's chronic lateness. And then share how you handle mistakes, hopefully with curiosity, not punishment. The next part of the meeting should be an icebreaker activity. Yes. Have an icebreaker to get to know your team a bit better. And then that gives you an opportunity to observe how they interact. But choose wisely. You want connection, not collective eye rolling. Not everyone loves the team building stuff. The next part of the meeting should focus on thanking the team. You want to stay positive. Acknowledge your appreciation for how open they were in their one-on-ones. Highlight their strengths. This is not the time to unload every issue you heard. You can save that for later once you've built in a bit of trust and credibility. And then share your 90-day plan. Focus on 1 or 2 priorities that came from the team's feedback. Then, and this is the key, ask them for their feedback and input. What concerns do you see with this plan? How might this impact your work? Do you have any other suggestions? Again, it might be that your organization has given you some other changes to implement. That's fine. Be honest and be transparent about what's coming. And then you want to end the meeting with recognition. It's good practice to get into the habit of always ending meetings with some sort of recognition or celebration of success. You can ask questions such as, what's one thing you're taking away from today's meeting? This will help to solidify what they heard. What did you appreciate? Is there someone you'd like to recognize today or some success you'd like to share? This really helps you begin building a team culture that's grounded in appreciation and psychological safety and positivity. So that's essentially what you want to do in your first team meeting. So to wrap up, if you do these things, observe, ask questions, build relationships, pace your changes, and facilitate a thoughtful first meeting, you'll be miles ahead of most new leaders. The forming stage of a team can be genuinely exciting. It's full of possibility. And when you approach those first 90 days with intention and humility, you create the foundation for a high-functioning, deeply engaged team. That's all for today. Thanks so much for watching. And if you found this content helpful, just a quick reminder to give this video a like. Subscribe for more leadership insights and drop a comment below. What's one thing you think new leaders often overlook in their first 90 days? I'd love for you to come back for more videos in the future, and don't forget, keep on striving. Until next time, bye for now.